It's common for audiophiles to want to find the best possible components for their system. And when they're shopping around for amplifiers, I noticed that a lot of them talk about the tonality of the amplifier. And what I've noticed from my testing, and I've done some objective testing with various amplifiers, I couldn't really see very much difference in tonality. So the fact that they can hear these nuances is kind of a mystery to me. But one thing that they fail to look at oftentimes is the noise floor. And in this video, I want to explore why I think that's even more important than differences in tonality. For the most part, I don't think an amplifier should change the sound tonally. And I also don't think that it should add very much noise. And that's what we'll take a look at today.
Now, I don't do measurements of amplifiers like Amir does a great job over there at Audio Science Review. I just don't have the equipment. And so I just leave that to him. But this is one thing that is just kind of easy for me to understand, at least, which is that I don't want to hear anything from an amplifier except for the signal that it is amplifying. So for me, it's simple. If I use a pair of speakers, the ones that I'm actually going to use, is it making any audible noise from my main listening position? And in my case right now, I am building a studio setup where I'm doing some near field listening. And so I'm setting up a 7.1.4 system in there. So I need a lot of amplification. There are a lot of speakers around me, and my studio is pretty quiet, so I can hear pretty much anything. And that is also the reason why I think more people are getting particular about this, and also a reason why some people notice and some people don't. If you have a computer running with lots of fans, big GPU in there with its own fan, you probably aren't going to notice the noise so much. But a lot of my computers, they're either fanless or the fan rarely runs on them. Same thing with hard drives. Nothing really makes noise anymore. And so when you have a speaker at your desk close to you and it's the only thing making noise, well, that's the only thing there is to solve. So in my studio, I've been looking for various Class D amplifiers that can power 11 speakers, and I wanted to use a Class D amp. I don't need anything too powerful. It's going to be in a small room. I'm going to be close to them. I don't need them to get crazy loud. Surprisingly, I couldn't find very many options, except for there were a few that I found online. But around this time, Fosi Audio reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review some of their products, and I saw that they had a 4-channel amplifier. So I said, you know what? If you're interested, you can send me 2 of those, and if it lives up to my expectations, and in this case, just being quiet, that's all I really want. If it can amplify the sound and sound good, all that, of course, yes. But number one, it has to be quiet. So they sent me 2 of these. Here we are here, and I have them. We'll take a look at one of them and see what's in here. So this is their BS-A1. And the reason I wanted a Class D amp is also because they're small. So I'm planning on putting these under the desk. So I'm going to need 12 channels. So 3 of these. I may need 16 eventually. Who knows? We'll see. So there's the power brick here. There's the power supply. And it's 24 volts, 4.5 amps. Now the thing is that this is also a Bluetooth amplifier. I don't care about that. I'm never going to use that. There's the amplifier. All right. So it has volume here. That actually feels pretty good. So I'm probably going to keep them all here. All right. A lot of power amplifiers don't actually have any volume control, and that's another reason why it's so important that they don't have a ton of noise. In this case, it does have volume controls as well as an easy on and off switch on the front. Still, even though it has all these options, I still don't want it to make any noise, okay? And the test is going to be with these all on max. So here on the back, you have RCAs. So 1, 2, 3, 4 RCAs. And then it has, what is this called? The Phoenix connector? Yeah, I don't really love these. And the reason is, if I'm going to use a thicker gauge wire, that's just not going to cut it, right? Oh, okay, so this looks like you can choose for this to be either 4 audio inputs, or you can set it to be audio input, and then these are audio outputs. I don't really care so much about the power, as long as it drives the speakers I'm using. And so the deal I had with Fosi was, I told them, yeah, go ahead and send those out, but if they have a lot of noise, I'm just going to send them right back. And that's basically it. So we'll see if they're going to stay or if they're going to go back. These are the speakers I'm going to use in the studio just because they're really small. Well, not extremely small, but small enough and easy to mount, right? These are the monolith THX satellites, and they are concentric, and that's why I like them. So I'm gonna be using these. These are very insensitive speakers. They're rated at 4 ohms, but they dip even lower than that. So they're supposed to be very hard to drive, and actually lower sensitivity is probably going to expose the noise on the amplifiers the least. So if I were to use a really sensitive speaker, it's gonna really bring out that noise floor. All right, so I have my U mic here, and just for the sake of being somewhat scientific, I'll just keep this about a foot away, which is actually pretty close, but reasonable considering, when you're sitting at a desk, sometimes you're leaning in, looking at the screen, and you might be about this close. So I have a couple amplifiers that I'm going to take a look at, and we'll just listen to them. I'll let you know what I hear, and I'll also show you on REW here what it is showing in the, basically a graph of the noise. So let's test out some of these other ones first and see what happens. So this one is from Mica. This is their Orgain 250, I believe. Yeah. And I was surprised by this because this one is actually quiet. So let's go ahead and try this out. This one's totally acceptable to me. All right, so I think this one is about 99 bucks. It's 2-channel, and I believe they're using the TPA 3116 chip in here. And that's a chip that I haven't heard too many great things about. It's commonly used, but this goes to show that I think implementation and the components they use, the power supply, makes a difference. So right now I'm not going to have the RCAs connected. So the first thing to take a look at here on the graph is just the noise floor here in the room. If I stop talking, you will see what that looks like. So something's making this noise here. Let's see what that is. All right, so I'm gonna have to go on a search and destroy mission to find out what's causing that noise, because that's gonna bug me. Anyway, back to this. Basically, I hear nothing. I have it turned all the way up here. I'll be quiet. Let's take a look at this, and let's just see what happens when I turn it off versus on. Whatever it was, it just turned off. So that one passes the test. All right, so next one on the list is OSD's Narrow Stream XD. I'm seeing something around the 11.25, around here. So take a look here. Yeah, so there's no noise when it's off, and then when I turn it on, it's obviously coming from this amplifier. See if you can hear anything. Yeah, it's kind of like this heartbeat type of signal. So let me go ahead and bring the speaker close. All right, so I'm not sure if you could hear that or not, but it's definitely audible. All right, so the next one is this one by Arylic. This one I also taped off because it had a bright blue light. It has that Phoenix connector that I don't love, and it also has wireless streaming options, Ethernet, Bluetooth, all kinds of stuff. No physical controls, so this is all app controlled. So they sent this to me a long time ago, and I didn't review it, and I'll tell you why. I guess you'll see right now why. So I have the power brick that it came with here, and this one is 24 volts, 4 amps. And just to show you that it's not the power supply that's causing it, I'm going to use the one from the Mica here. And this is 24 volts, 4.75 amps. So higher amp rating, but it should be fine because they're both 24 volts. And if I remember correctly, this has an awesome spark. So, oh yeah, that's great. So let me just set a baseline of unacceptable here. So let me go ahead and measure this close here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug that and just take a baseline of the noise floor here. So you can see the difference there. Let me just see. We're like from close. So this is not even any fancy gear. This is just using a mic and what I'm actually hearing. So totally audible. Okay, so yeah, this OSD one is not one I can recommend either just because of this spike here. Don't like that. All right, so the Mica one is even quieter than the noise floor just because maybe the car was passing by, something like that. But anyway, you can see it has a little something going on here, but was that in the noise floor? Yep, it was there. So the Mica is quiet. It's not making much sound. I mean, if you wanted to be real technical up here, it's doing some stuff that's unwanted. But so far, this is my baseline. This is something that I could deal with. All right, moment of truth for the Fosi Audio BS-A1. Here we go. So far, the Fosi is looking pretty good. Let me take a look at the noise floor. Looks like it has a few things here in green, but nothing like this, nothing like the OSD, and nothing like this Arylic one. Let's see which one, Mica versus this one. All right. So this has a few more things going on here, a little bit there, and the Mica is worse up here, but I think I can deal with that. So I'm going to test a few more, and if there are no issues with that, I'm going to be okay with saying that this is quiet enough for me. Now, whether it sounds good and whether it's reliable, those are things I have yet to check. So I've just tested all of the channels on both of these, and they're all quiet. Yeah, I'm happy about that. So imagine this. That is 8 channels of amplification right there. It's pretty cool, right? Look at that.
So I hope that this video kind of gives you an idea of what to look for when it comes to the noise floor of an amplifier. I hope that that becomes something that's higher on people's priority list when it comes to buying amplifiers. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Anyway, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. That's it. Take care. Bye-bye.